I like to think that I'll be relevant when, this all blows over, because then I can make pots for people's food and stuff. We can go back to the hunter and gatherer days. I'll be relevant as a potter.
Welcome to the Saginaw Art Museum podcast. COVID-19 pandemic is altering the usual routines of people around the globe and around the block. As practices of social distancing and self-quarantine are implemented, artists are finding new ways to adapt to the changing landscape. In this series, Art at Home, we have conversation with artists and creative-minded individuals to understand the way these unusual times are impacting lives. Stuart is a ceramic artist and instructor out of Bay City, Michigan. In our conversation, we discuss the unique nature of ceramics and his plans for staying active and making art at home. Good morning, Adam.
Hey.
Tell me a little bit just what a non-coronavirus day looks like for you, and then maybe we can get into how things are changing.
I was we're technically laid off where I usually work full-time, which is at Runyon Pottery Supply. Today is day one of my self-quarantining, so got a lot ahead of me. I'm stocked up on clay and materials and stuff, so I'm not going to be bored. I think going to be actually getting into production again, so this will be maybe a really nice time to be able to get back into making a lot of stuff to be able to maybe sell or give as gifts later on. Yeah, it's not good for sure, because the stagnant economy kind of thing. It's very hard for artists to begin with when there is a good economy to be able to buy their own materials, but at this point you have to kind of scrape by.
I know that you teach as well.
Yep.
You had mentioned that had stopped. Tell me a little bit more about how that happened.
So Studio 23 up in Bay City is where I teach on Wednesday nights, teach clay classes up there for adults. We were on week 7. We were on the last day, actually, that we were supposed to have that Wednesday, but the studio decided to close down because of the COVID-19 spread, which is a good idea, just because, we don't want to spread it to more people, and there's a lot of people around. So we still have to, pick up back where we are, but complication, I think, that can arise from that, though, is so many people had so many unfinished projects, and with clay, 3 or 4 weeks from now, they're going to be completely dry and unfinishable, in an unfinishable state. So they either have to just trash it and move on, or try and do something with what they have already. So it'll be a little complicated to get back into the swing of things when we open back up, but, artists are creative problem solvers, right? So, we got this.
It sounds like that's not something that I would have thought of,
Yeah.
But it really sounds like there's that time-sensitive nature of the work that you're doing with clay is important.
Yeah, it's all about the drying process with that kind of stuff, and if it's too far gone, there's not a really easy way of bringing it back to a workable state. So it's a little fragile on that kind of point. But we'll figure out something, though, I think.
You had mentioned that you're going to be able to do some work at home. Tell me a little bit more about that. Do you have a space already set up, or are you moving couches and chairs?
Nope. Oh, that's what it had been a few years ago. But yeah, I moved. I have a space down in the basement. So it's kind of like my little dusty dungeon kind of thing. I have my pottery wheel set up down there, and I have some shelving and whatnot. So, I'm just going to be making some smaller things for now, I think, but try and make a little bit bigger pieces, too. Yeah, it's just make stuff on the wheel or hand-build things on the countertop that I have set up down there, and then dry it all out. But then I usually have to take it somewhere to get it fired, though, because I don't have my own kiln as of yet. That's the next goal, to be able to get my own kiln, actual studios.
It's sort of interesting to think about as we hunker down here. Something like pottery has been done for hundreds and hundreds of years, and here you are as a potter continuing that craft even in the midst of these times.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if it's just darkly humorous or something. I like to think that I'll be relevant when this all blows over, because then I can make pots for people's food and stuff. We can go back to the hunter and gatherer days. I'll be relevant as a potter.
Yeah,
but
an essential service, right?
Exactly. Exactly. No, yeah, no, it's interesting though, because pottery it seems like the interest of pottery and ceramics is kind of on the up and up right now, which is kind of cool, even though all this stuff is going on. But there's a huge following on like Instagram and stuff for potters across the world. It's pretty cool of how connected the community in the ceramics industry is.
Are you finding new ways to sort of stay connected with that community that you might not have explored before?
Well, so I think social media is a great way for it to be able to stay connected, because I think otherwise it's so hard. You have to go travel elsewhere out of state or somewhere far away to be able to see what this art looks like or experience these people's personalities and stuff. But being able to have the social media or something like Etsy, that kind of stuff, it's more accessible to people. And I think that's really helpful of, furthering the interest of not just the ceramic arts, but arts in general.
It is sort of neat how that possibility exists. If you could give one recommendation to families or individuals at home right now who are looking to maintain a level of creativity in their day-to-day life, do you have a recommendation?
If it's like a family that doesn't have a lot of art supplies, I mean, just pencils and paper is a great thing to use. There's tons and tons of videos online about like how to draw an eye or how to draw a flower or something like that, and it's really easy to get people to just relax and calm down and just doodle for a while. I think it's really meditative just to sit there and doodle for a while, listening to an audiobook or listening to your favorite music or watch a movie while you do it, that kind of stuff. But if you have materials, I mean, just start sketching and make things. I mean, it's very, it passes the time very well. And like I said, it's kind of a meditative process. You can sit there and think about while you're, anything while you're making your pieces. You can, like I said, too, you can watch your movies or whatnot, too, as well. There's that Netflix party thing that's going around. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be more difficult for those families and people that don't have the supplies already at hand. But I mean, origami's a thing. Origami just takes some paper. If you have paper lying around, you can probably watch tons of videos about that, of how to make cool origami things. There's all sorts of things, I think, out there, especially for kids. There's all sorts of resources that parents can utilize to keep their kids engaged and, creatively intellectual.
Well, that sounds cool. It's encouraging to hear sort of your level of enthusiasm, and I wish you all the best as you art at home, and we'll look forward to continuing to follow up and see how you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Saginaw Art Museum podcast. You can stay connected with the museum through our website and social media channels. We invite you to become a subscriber of this podcast or become a monthly contributor to the show to help us carry out our mission of providing art for all.